Welcome, everybody, to a special video. Today, we are going to be talking about Christmas music and music we love to listen to around the holidays. I am a huge music fan, as you know, but I'm more specifically a huge Christmas music fan. So instead of just me talking about it, I invited some friends on to help me out. So we'll just do a quick round of who we are, and then we'll dive into the music we love to listen to around the holidays. So, Matt, why don't we start with you, and we'll go clockwise from you on my screen.
Sounds good. I'm just so excited about today. This is glorious. I feel so warm and cozy. Was just outside freezing the fingers off. Now I'm here with you all. Jana's got the necklace. I mean, everything's going right. I'm Matt. Matt O'Leary Music is my channel. I do prog reviews, but also a lot of indie rock, alternative rock and pop, jazz, metal. I don't even know what to say anymore, but kind of a wide variety of stuff. I try to do a new music monthly episode every month where I cover a lot of really unknown and obscure stuff is my focus there. But I also cover some big albums, and my channel's sort of on life support right now from my Peter Gabriel review. So
you got a big hit. Amazing. Thanks, Matt. Brent, how about you?
Hey everybody, I'm Brent. I host the channel Similitude of Prog. I do reviews when I can, but I find time sometimes gets away from me. But I enjoy everybody's channel. I look forward to doing these videos. I can't even explain how excited I am when these things come on. Great times.
Amazing. And Nathan and Jana.
All right, I'm Nathan. My channel is called Nathan on Shuffle, and it's much like everyone else. I cover all kinds of music and specifically prog focused, and do weekly news roundups of what's happening in the world of prog and all kinds of prog reviews. And I also have my wife with me who does videos with me as well on the channel.
Hi, I'm a guest star. I'm not really proggy, so
yeah. But on the channel, I'm introducing you to prog music. We do reactions where she's listening for the first time to prog songs.
One song at a time.
One song at a time.
We'll get through all of it eventually.
Yeah, every prog song, one by one.
Amazing. So yeah, we're just going to have a fun little conversation about the music that we love to listen to around the Christmas and holiday season. Does anybody? I want to kind of go last because I listen to so much. I'll fill in the gaps later on because I don't want to step on anybody's toes. But does anybody want to go first? Otherwise, I'll just roll a dice to see who's going to talk first. But I figured I'd let everybody have the first right of refusal first.
I usually volunteer to go first on things, but I'm nervous today. But I could talk about something. I mean,
sure.
Because I'm not. I mean, I've already said I'm not like a proggy person, right? Like I don't necessarily listen to progressive rock music, but this is about Christmas music, and Christmas music. I'm all about Christmas music. All the time. So and I have love in my heart for all Christmas music. So anything, like I'll put on my playlist starting in October, probably September, right after Labor Day. Start playing my Christmas playlist, and a song will come on. I'll be like, oh, this one again, and then I'll proceed to listen to it and sing along to it. And like I love all Christmas music, even if I'm like hate it or whatever. So so I wasn't sure exactly what the assignment was, so I just picked some Christmas albums that I really liked, and so I want to start with Pentatonix, because I think that is like they're like the epitome of Christmas music in the last 10 years. And they're a cappella group. They won a competition, right?
I think it was called the Sing Off.
Sing Off, yeah. And they've I feel like they've just become really known for Christmas music, especially because they just do a lot of Christmas albums, and they're the one album that I like the most of theirs is that's Christmas to Me, and it has like the white winter hymnal on it. That's my favorite song of theirs. But I just like their stuff. Like all of their stuff is in my Christmas playlist, and I don't really know the albums, but like all their music is just amazing. So Pentatonics.
Yeah, my partner and I, we saw the latest Grinch movie, like the Illumination like animated one with Benedict Cumberbatch, and halfway through a Pentatonics track comes on in the movie proper, and my partner's like, that's the Pentatonics. And it's like, yeah, they have like 2 tracks off of that soundtrack, so like they're really making waves.
They were on the Masked Singer. Do you guys have the Masked Singer?
I know of it.
I know of it, but I don't have cable, so I don't really watch anything.
They were on a season or 2 ago, dressed as like a giant sushi roll, and they came on and like 30 seconds into their singing, because you don't know who they are and you have to guess. I was like, oh, you know, then we knew immediately that it was like Pentatonic.
Pretty obvious.
Yeah, they're just the best. They're so good at what they do.
They're very talented. Amazing. The harmonizing those.
They do a lot of their own arrangements, and it's really cool. So
they've got like the woman in the group and the really high tenor. Their harmonies together, they just kind of like
they're so good.
Dance above everyone. It's the best.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So I started us off with acapella pop. Yay.
I love it. I love
that
it.
Works.
Yeah. I think we'll go around, and we'll keep giving as we go around. Who wants to shout out another that they've been loving? I'm gonna be like that teacher. If you don't, I'll start calling on you. So Matt, go for it.
I'll go for it. So I'm sticking in the acapella lane. Well, not really acapella, but just choral music. It's a big thing for me around this time. I feel like the holidays is a time of like reflection, and also like it's not as discovery mode as the rest of the year where I'm searching out new things. I'm more so just in recovery mode, I guess, of like listening to the things I really love and that matter most to me. So for me, part of my heart and my musical upbringing is choral music. So definitely pentatonic style, other a cappella groups like Home Free, but even more probably like traditional choir music, a lot of sacred music. Some of the local choirs in Minnesota where I'm at are really great. St. Olaf is one, so I listen to a lot of their albums. Can't really go wrong. It's not like I have like specific albums where I'm like, that one is far superior. It's just kind of like a vibe.
Yeah.
Some like sacred choral music, and that works for me. But another group is the King Singers, which is a long-standing English a cappella group. And they've got a few albums, but their time period around 2005-ish to 2011 or 12, all of those are really great. And the group at that time, I think, was just like so excellent. So
amazing.
Those are the ones.
That's great.
Like an old friend.
Yeah, that's one thing that I love about Christmas music is like, even if it's like a new album from somebody, I love to hear like those classics, and those ones that I'm like, how are they going to do a new spin on it? Or are they just going to stick to the formula? It is very like comfort food in that sense. So amazing. Nathan or Brent, who wants to go next?
I'll go.
Sure.
One of my earliest Christmas memories is getting a little portable transistor radio from my mom and dad. And I remember going to bed one night listening to it, and Blue Christmas by Elvis came on. And that song is stuck in my head. And every time I hear it, it takes me right back to when I was lying in my bed and listening to that. So that's a healthy addiction to this album.
I have that one.
Pull it out every time this year, play the living hell out of it. And that's the nostalgic Brent coming out today.
I love that. Yeah, I actually found that record at like in a Value Village way back when, and that's a staple for me as well. my partner was trapped in a car once when she was younger, and the only thing they had for like this 4-hour car ride was nothing but the Elvis Christmas albums, but like all of them all in a row. So
Oh,
whenever like an Elvis track comes on, she's just transported to being locked in a car for like 4 hours with nothing else to listen
Oh
to.
no.
So I have to be selective of when I
Are you
play
saying
that.
like on a road trip?
Yeah.
Negative
On a
is
road trip, or she was like pounding at the window, like, trying to get out?
Might have been a bit of both, but definitely a road trip, right? So when I started putting it on, she's just
thought it
like,
was
"You better not." Yeah.
I thought it was a snow thing, like she was trapped in a car
Yeah,
in
yeah.
snow. Because you guys talking about snow, and I don't know how snow works, so
It happened.
It happens, man. It happens. All right, Nathan, why don't you bring us home for the first round, and then we'll go into some more.
All right. So for me, most of my listening, if I'm being honest, around Christmas is like re-listening to the albums from the year, and like because there's a lot of like those year-end lists that I'm trying to think about, and like re-listening to all the big albums and like trying to slot them in my list. And I've always not been a huge fan of like traditional Christmas music, you know. So I'm always trying to find like kind of the weird proggy or different kind of music when it comes to Christmas. This one is probably my favorite Christmas album, so I thought I'd share it first. This is a very prog centric Christmas album called 1225 by 10.10. This is one I really love. It features Bill Hubauer from like Neil Morse Band is in this group, and it has some original songs on it that are very proggy and very cool, like in that Neil Morse type style. And then there's some covers as well, you know, progified versions of different Christmas songs that are really fun to listen to at the same time. So that's been an album that I've loved and listened to almost every Christmas. And you know, it's an album that I can listen to throughout the year, really, because it's almost like a concept album around Christmas. And you know, it's just a really cool album that I can pull out as a prog fan during Christmas.
Yeah, I know you were speaking about that last year with your like favorite Christmas albums, and I've really loved that album, and I keep returning to it. So half of this was just me wanting to thank you for that, and like the December people as well. Like those two albums.
That'd be another a big one to mention. Yeah.
next round.
Yeah.
That's going to be the next round. Yeah.
Someone had to bring the prog credentials to this show. So thank you, Nathan, keeping us.
Yeah. Oh,
Christmas is an interesting time in our house because I'm, you know, all about the Christmas music, and like there's like 5 decorated Christmas trees in our house, and he's like, you know, let's do something different with like the prog music, and so we listen to prog Christmas music too.
Yeah.
So, because I have love for all Christmas music, so
Yeah.
Oh, I get it. Yeah.
Have any of you guys heard that Neil Morris and Friends prog?
no.
It's pretty good.
Yes.
I?
I love it too.
Have I? I don't know.
I probably played it in the background.
Yeah.
But...
So maybe.
Yeah. Last year and the year before, I got really deep into, because Neil Morris has a couple. The one from 2020, the Last Minute Christmas album, and
You have it.
what was the one? I think
Proggy Christmas.
A very proggy Christmas with the Prague World Orchestra is very fun as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know one that I really enjoy, and I mean, this was so hard for me to try to narrow down because I have a full like IKEA cubby full of Christmas records. So trying to just pull out one to be like, oh yeah, this was great is like extremely hard. And I also have like rituals as well. So like Christmas Eve, I'll watch the Nutcracker, like one of the ballets. And when I was living in Toronto, I would go to the symphony and listen to Handel's Messiah, which as a prog fan, listening to a piece that has like 3 30-minute tracks, it's otherworldly. You know, as a prog fan, I'm just like, yes, we need more like this. But I think the one that I wanted to showcase was, as a Canadian, I got to give it up to my boys, the Bare Naked Ladies, because they put out one called Bare Naked for the Holidays. And it's the perfect blend of fun, because there's a bunch of tracks that are on like the old Yamaha keyboard, like the set program kind of sounds and soundscapes. They have Canadian icons like Celine, I think Celine Dion. If not, no, who is it? Anyway, it's going to bother me. But also Michael Bublé, which is another Canadian icon. And his Christmas album is a heavy rotated one in my household as well. But yeah, Bare Naked for the Holidays. The Elf's Lament is probably one of the better, more original pieces from the holidays that has been picked up, and I'm surprised nobody else has like done their own like Last Christmas or All I Want for Christmas Is You, or they start doing their own interpretations of it. So yeah, if you haven't heard Bare Naked for the Holidays, I highly recommend it.
Nice.
So is it like half covers or half new Christmas songs? And
so I think there's only like 3 new tracks and the rest are covers.
okay.
I think
That's a
I
good
don't know
ratio.
yeah, there's a couple Jewish tracks on there as well for Hanukkah, which is really nice. And my favorite one is where they legitimately just sing Happy Birthday to Jesus. It's just a lot of fun. And it's one of my favorite Christmas albums. So
Nice.
yeah. Let's go for round 2. I like the order, so let's follow the order that we had before with Jenna. Do you want to start us off?
Yeah. What do I want to talk about next? Okay. So,
I'm putting you on the spot.
No, that's fine. Nate collects a lot of albums, vinyl, not vinyls.
I know some people will murder you for that, but no, it's fine here. This is fine.
So he collects a lot of vinyls, and I don't, and so I have like 3.
They're vinyls, yeah.
And this one. I have more than that. I have the Hamilton, and I have like a bunch of like old ones, like Dean Martin,
like old
and
classic musicals.
Disney stuff, musicals and stuff. But last year I bought this one, and it's just a compilation of like a bunch of different Christmas songs, classic Christmas songs, and so this year I was like, I should buy another Christmas album, and so now I'm going to start a tradition of buying a Christmas album, a Christmas vinyl every year, and I was only supposed to buy 1, but I bought 2. So I bought Pentatonics, and then I bought Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Metal growling.
That's awful. But I like a heavier sound Trans-Siberian Orchestra, and we've been to their concerts. We've been to 2 of their concerts. Was it 2 years ago? And they're amazing, like amazing. One before.
Yeah, I went to one. Me and Kevin went to one like back when I was in college, I think. Yeah.
I don't think I've been to any except the ones with you.
Well, with the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, my family on last Sunday went to see them when they were in Toronto. And they actually did the Ghosts of Christmas Eve as their show. And we took my mother-in-law to see it, and this was like her first big rock concert. And she was like, I could feel the pyrotechnics, like I could feel the fire on my face, even though we were like near the back of the arena. And I was like, next time we'll have to bring marshmallows.
Their shows are amazing. Their light show, like how they have these lights, lights is such a non-descriptive word, but there's these huge like light boxes and droopy, I don't know, I don't know, but like I can't explain it, but they were just all moving and in time with the music, and like the whole production was just, it was high production. It was amazing. It's like one of the coolest like experiences that you can experience.
Like
not very articulate. Sorry.
Like I've seen them now maybe about 6 or 7 times, and like each time they bring something completely new, and like they try to up the ante. So like last time we saw them, they had this massive Tesla coil.
Oh,
That
Yes,
played.
we
They
saw that.
played in the Hall of the Mountain King on it.
Mhm.
This year they had a massive snow globe with a woman in it singing
Oh, cool.
the Magic Flute, which was insane.
nice.
So yeah, all three of Trans-Siberian Orchestra's albums are in pretty heavy rotation for me, and I know this year they released the Christmas Attic on vinyl.
Ooh.
And I think a couple years ago they did Christmas Eve and Other Stories. So now I'm just waiting for them to put out the Lost Christmas Eve. And then my collection will be complete. Boy. All right, Matt, what's another one from you?
I'm gonna bring the first non-Christmas album music to the mix here, so I might be
Love it.
breaking the rules. I didn't
Happy
get any
to.
memo ahead of time, so I don't know.
The only rule is there are no rules.
How'd I go? But with this time, I feel like there's a lot of music and bands for whatever reason that are associated with the time. Most of it is memory, you know, what you listen to in your past, especially for me, like formative years, growing up, high school, those times. But there's also just a sound that for me brings kind of that just association with warmth, wholesomeness, and the prog band that does it for me around Christmas time is Jethro Tull, for sure, in that respect. There's something about Ian Anderson's voice, the instrumentation, the whole attitude that just feels right for the time. And they have a Christmas album, which I like. Okay, I don't listen to it too much,
Yeah, it's fine.
but even some of their normal albums, I listen to a lot around this time. The kind of the heavy horses, songs from the Wood era.
Yeah,
I think like Solstice Bells.
I was
That's
gonna say.
just come on.
Yeah. It's a staple
So,
of Christmas album or even tracks. One of my first playlists had Solstice Bells and a bunch of other tracks like Thank God It's Christmas and Do You Believe in Father Christmas and like all those prog staples, but like Solstice Bells is definitely high up there in terms of being like an all-time classic.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
A good dose of Genesis too around this time, especially the early period. Nursery Crime, something about those albums just feels so warm and Christmassy to me.
Yeah,
What about Invisible Touch, Matt?
It's kind of half an ironic shirt, half not.
Yeah.
I get it.
I was
Love
even
the
going to
album.
say, yeah, like Anthony Phillips's solo stuff, like The Goose and the Ghost, very Christmassy. You know, it's got that
Yes.
kind of like medieval minstrel Christmas songs to it, you know? So that's a great
one.
pick. Yeah. All right, Brent, what's another one from you?
Well, when I was growing up at home, we always had one album that we listened to as we set up the Christmas tree. I don't have a physical copy, but it's not going to show up very good. It's Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers, Once Upon a Christmas. Probably for
I thought
10 years
that was
straight.
Haken.
Oh yeah.
It looked like that.
And even to this
That's
day,
good.
when I set up our tree, I have to listen to that album. But it goes back against that nostalgia thing, I guess, and it brings in the warmth and just memories of family from the past. And so yeah, it's pretty emotional at times.
What'd you say it was? Dolly Parton and who?
Kenny Rogers, Once Upon a Christmas.
Yeah. That's
Nice.
there we
There you
go.
Nice,
That's the one. Yeah, my partner got that for me for Christmas this year or last year. Because yeah, it's not Christmas without a little bit of Dolly. Oh boy. Yeah, I
Nice.
think I want to say I have 3 of her Christmas albums. I have the very Dolly Christmas, the whiter Christmas cover that was just her from I think the 90s, and then her and Kenny staple Christmas tracks. Yeah. Amazing. All right, Nathan.
All right. Yeah, we touched on it, so I figure I might as well talk through it is the December People has always been one of my favorites, like trying to discover different sounds to Christmas music. And basically the December People do like prog versions of Christmas songs, but they do it in the style of like specific prog bands or classic rock bands. And so part of the fun of it to me, like I played this for my dad and it was like a guessing game of like,
Yeah.
okay, what band are they trying to sound like now? You know, what song are they trying to emulate, but do it in a Christmas version? And it's just so much fun as a prog fan to kind of hear those nods to different prog songs that they're putting into their Christmas music. And it's just always been a fun album to put on. They have a couple. The first one that they have is really the one centered around mostly prog artists, but then they have a few others that are more classic rock focused, I'd say.
Mhm.
But they're all really fun and just great interpretations of those classic Christmas songs.
We listened to one of those last year, like on our channel. Like
Yeah,
a-
we
a
listened
Ye-
to a
Yes
track
song.
that was based on Yes. I think it's
Yeah.
Carol of the Bells, I think is,
Mhm.
Yeah.
That was
and it's
amazing.
done in a Yes style, and it's fun.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I picked it up and I played it for my dad, and we had a little bit of a guessing game of which artist was which
Yeah.
style. Some are easier than others, especially if
Yeah.
you're familiar with
True.
it. It's like for me, the Genesis one, the King Crimson one, and the Emerson Lake and Palmer ones were all like, oh yeah, those I know exactly
Yeah,
which
it's
one
like
was that one.
instant.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, this is definitely back in New York City or in the Court of the Crimson King. Like they took the melody and just put it into that track.
Yep.
Which is so much
They did-
fun.
They
What
did
is
that
it
with
called?
the Yes one.
It's
Sorry.
called the December People. I think their first album is called Sounds Like Christmas, I want to
I
say.
think that's right.
Check that out.
Yeah, if you haven't checked it out, it's a lot of fun. And like I said, half of the fun is just trying to guess what style it's like, what band they're trying to emulate. All right. So I guess I'll round off this and then we'll do maybe one more, and then tie it all together with anything that we hadn't talked about. So yeah, it again, so hard for me to like narrow down, but I think I have to go with one that is for me quintessentially Christmas. Like it's not Christmas unless I sit down and put this on. And that's the soundtrack to the Charlie Brown Christmas special. Like if you don't have it in physical media at this point, like I don't know, just like putting the needle down and hearing those first couple of soundscapes on the piano, it just brings me right to Christmas, to the point where like Charlie Brown's theme and like tracks that aren't really Christmas are still Christmas to me. Like I'll listen to the Charlie Brown just regular theme song and I'm like, yeah, this is a Christmas track. So yeah, I would watch the Christmas special all the time when I was growing up. And yeah, I still will listen to the album even now. So yeah, I think that one for me is quintessentially Christmas.
Yeah, I love just that like cocktail jazz Christmas sound.
Yeah.
That's pretty corny, but like I think that album is not, and it does it best.
Yeah.
It's like the peak of that sound.
Yeah, and I know, oh shoot, I'm trying to remember the composer, Charlie Brown. There we go. Vince Guaraldi.
Right.
Thank you. We said it at the same time. When he was commissioned to do the sounds and the soundtrack, he wanted to create something that wasn't just for kids or just for adults, but something that like everybody could listen to. So like the more adult themes have a childlike whimsical aspect to it, and all the child themes have this almost underlying like seriousness about it. So it's kind of like the best of both camps that I really love.
It is like the Christmas album. The sales on that thing have
Oh yeah.
to be off the charts. Just like the vinyl variants that I've seen.
Yeah.
Like I've seen hundreds of vinyl variants.
Yeah, we should add that to our list.
It's
I have it
amazing.
on CD, but not on vinyl yet. Yeah.
Yeah, and luckily it should be pretty easy to find.
Nice.
All right, my turn.
Yeah, let's go for one last one, and then we'll do like if we missed anything at the end.
Okay. Okay. I really like Christmas music that is not the traditional Christmas music. I should say I love all the classics.
Yeah, I
Love
thought you
them.
loved all Christmas music.
I do. I have love in my heart for all Christmas music. And I feel like there's two albums that really like are the epitome of like classic Christmas and like new modern like different types of songs. I don't know if I'm explaining this very well, but I feel like when people make a Christmas album, when musicians make a Christmas album, they need to do something different or improve upon the classics. I mean, the classics are always going to be the classics. And I'm talking about like, you know, like White Christmas and like all of those. And I feel like when Michael Bublé did his album, they are great and they're wonderful. Not a lot of originals. It's like almost all covers. But it's like modern production. It's beautiful. He's got like that silky smooth voice. And I feel like they are improvements on some of those classic songs. And not saying that the old songs are bad. I love all Christmas music. I just love these versions too. And on the opposite side of that is this album by Sia. Sia did a Christmas album, and it's all like new songs, like songs that are just not in the rotation of all those old classic songs that you hear on the radio like at Christmas time when there's a radio station here in LA that plays Christmas music starting like nonstop starting in November, and it's all the same stuff. And but then Sia's album comes on the it's not played on this radio because nobody knows these songs because they're all different, but I think it's amazing. And Sia's an amazing vocalist. And of course, there's the instant classic on this album called "Puppies Are Forever" because
Love that
she's
track.
an animal rights activist. And so she sings a song about how like puppies are forever, not just for Christmas, and it's just this great little puppy tune. But then she also has like these other like great ones. The one called "Ho Ho Ho" and "Sunshine" and "Candy Cane Lane," like all original like Christmas songs. And when I say original, I don't really know, but they're just not like the ones that we always hear. So to me, they're original. And so and it's just great. And I love her Christmas music. Like it's because it's all different. It's all things that I've never heard before, and it's all fun pop music because I love pop music, and it's just really, really wonderful, and I love it. Sia and Michael Bublé, like two very different things, both so great. They're like constant in my Christmas playlist. They're like constantly going back and forth. So
yeah, I found Sia's Christmas album last year and just fell in love with it. Candy Cane Lane,
so good, right?
Yeah, Candy Cane Lane, Ho Ho Ho, and Puppies Are Forever. I will just like dance around my apartment because we desperately want a dog, but our living arrangements does not like allow for one. So I will like consider like constantly just sing that track because it's just so much fun and so bouncy, and like the whole like I have the record, and like everything it's almost like Christmas threw up on the record sleeves because it's full of like white, green, and red like everywhere. Like she's wearing like a full onesie
like red
thing, and she's got the massive bow. It's ridiculous. I love it's so over the top in the best way. And yeah, Michael Bublé is a Canadian icon. Like every Christmas, I'm pretty sure the Prime Minister gives that album to anybody that hasn't had it yet. So
yeah, he is the crooner, the modern crooner.
Yeah.
Like if you think of like Andy Williams, Bing Crosby, whatever.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
Michael
and
Bublé, right?
Bublé.
Yeah, all his tracks, like his Christmas tracks, are really great. Like they're just they're stunning in their production. There's just, like the older stuff, like you know, you hear like the cracks and pops and things in them, and in the this is like a cleaned up, clear, like I don't know. It's just they've just put a big old red bow on all the new Christmas songs, and I love it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And like it's funny because he's only done the one Christmas album and he's like, I
mm.
perfected it. Why would I need to do it again? Like I already have the perfect Christmas album. Why would I need to make another one? Yeah. It's true. Oh boy. All right, Matt, what's your last one?
Oh, tough to pick a last. I have quite a few here, but I'll stick on the theme of traditional in a musical sense, instrumental Christmas music. So just as a category, I feel like a lot of the music I listen to is like isolating in that it's like hard to get people into some heavy prog or something. But for everyone to enjoy something together, it's kind of like what Christmas is all about. So the albums that do it for me are from Jeff Johnson. And there are two. One's called Under the Wonder Sky, and the other's A Quiet Knowing Christmas. It's very folk instrumentation, lush, acoustic guitars, violins, some flutes. Yeah, just really solid. This guy used to make actually some kind of progressive rock in the 80s. And yeah, transitioned into just purely, he just pumps out like a million instrumental albums, but they're really solid. And it's just good house music. And I think like the functionality of Christmas music is important because it's often like social and like, or it can be getting family together and stuff. So having something that's just like ubiquitous, everyone's gonna love it. I love like the top 40 Christmas stuff too, don't get me wrong. That's kind of like, it's a classier Christmas vibe with a little Jeff Johnson. So yeah,
amazing. Yeah, I haven't heard that one, so I'm gonna have to check that one out. Is it mainly, you said house music?
not like electronic.
Oh, okay.
Like house music, like can put it on in the house. It's
Oh,
inoffensive.
I see. When I hear house music, I'm thinking of like Euro club music.
Yeah. No, with violins and some flute.
Yeah.
I know
All the classics.
No, it's very like inoffensive, like soft, acoustic, folky
Okay.
stuff. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'll have to check that one out because that sounds right up my alley for sure.
They're solid.
Amazing. All right, Brent.
My last one is from a group called King and Country and an album called A Drummer Boy Christmas.
Oh yeah.
And if you haven't heard this album, I suggest you go to YouTube and watch it. It's full of high energy. It just, and like Matt said, you can listen to this around the house too, and it's very, very happy record. And it's this time of year, I sometimes think we rely too much on the darker things of Christmas, but this is more of a like a good time celebration, high energy affair. I recommend it heavily.
That's great. Yeah, that's another one that I haven't heard of, so I'm going to check that one out as well. What's the flavor of the music? Is it more traditional or rock? What's the flavor?
I would say it's pop, country,
Okay.
rock.
Right on.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll have to check that out because that sounds really interesting.
it is very good.
All right, Nathan.
All right. I guess I'm the the one doing the weird proggy Christmas
I love it,
stuff
though.
where everyone's
That's why
a
I-
little
We need
bit more
someone to-
traditional.
We need
That's why I
someone
brought
to
you
do
on.
that, right?
Exactly.
So this was kind of a cool little gem of a album that I found that I wanted to mention from the band IQ.
I'm glad you
album,
said that one
yeah.
because I was going to choose that one, but I'm like, oh
Yeah.
man.
That is such a find. I had no idea.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
the only way I have it is through their CD box set that they put out a couple years ago. But to have it in vinyl.
Yeah.
Oh
It's like
man.
a little vinyl,
What
right?
color
Yeah, it's a
is it,
smaller
like?
Compared to
Kind
like
of a yellow color.
I think it's yellow, yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, see, yellow.
Oh, right on. It's almost like a 45.
Yeah, it's a smaller smaller one.
compared to like.
Yeah. Yeah, because the version I have ends with a 20-minute, and I'm like, I don't know if that'll fit on that boy.
Yeah.
Tales from a Dark Christmas. Why did he pick yellow?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because it's
I guess-
actually it fits everything. There's two. There's
Because it's
two.
magical.
Is that
Two
yellow?
LT. But yeah, this is a fun one in like that, in typical kind of darker neo prog style. The big epic suite is kind of fun because it's like these what you typically think of as happy Christmas songs, but done in this darker, neo prog style, which is a really interesting juxtaposition and makes for a fun, different kind of Christmas music than what you typically hear on the radio or traditionally. So,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of cool stuff on it for fans of IQ. I think it was like a fan club release at first, but then
Originally
they
it was,
released,
yeah.
some versions for other people. So it's kind of cool.
Oh man, yeah, I'm so glad that you mentioned that one, because I'm like, oh, I have like 4 here that I want to talk about, but I don't know which one to to spotlight. So I'm glad you
Yeah.
picked that one. Oh boy.
I got like 3 more honorable mentions that I'm gonna
Rapid fire. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what everybody's going to do. So yeah, for my last one, I've narrowed it down to 2, and both are very proggy, but I think I'm going to give it to the lesser known one. So back in, oh boy, like 2012 or so, just as my YouTube was starting to blossom, but before I actually got the nerve up to sit down and listen to it, I got into an artist by the name of Chris, and he just like, it's just his first name. It's just Chris, right? So trying to find him on any kind of streaming services
Cher,
or
Madonna, Chris.
right, but it was a nightmare to try to find him, because how many Chris's are there out there? So anyway, I found him on like the Prague archives with his album The City of Light, but later that year in 2012 he put out Snow Stories, and much like Sia, it's pretty much all original music. I don't think there's any like any covers or any traditional tracks on it. But it covers like both the light and the dark that I love about Christmas, like the dark in terms of the nights are much longer, especially, the further north you go, it's midnight at about 5 p.m., which is always great up here. But the 2 tracks that I keep listening to over and over and over again, outside of the darker instrumental pieces that are just like him and the piano, are Towards the Stars and A Way Home, and like they're both like prog masterpieces. And like he would follow this up with the track Days of Summer Gone, which is a full-on masterpiece if you haven't listened to it. But yeah, Snow Stories is one that I discovered in 2012, and for over 10 years now, it's a staple of my Christmas listenings. And it's saddened because like not a lot of people know about it, because I think it's just really, really hard to try to find this guy's music, because again, it's Chris, right? How easy is it to try to find Chris on like a streaming site? So like to try to search it, I usually go for, I'll type in Chris and then Snow Stories. But yeah, that's mine. You if you haven't listened to it by now, you really should. It's beautiful, it's great, it's got very optimistic tracks with some darker undertones. So has anybody heard it?
Somehow I've missed the legend
Yeah,
that
we
is
shall.
Chris.
It's sad. Like I actually
Madonna, Chris.
yeah, it's Cher, Madonna, and Chris.
So
Yeah.
good.
I supported him on Patreon because he was doing like one of the first like 1 track a month things. And he had this whole like inventions series that was brilliant and beautiful, and I'm saddened that he never really took off. So yeah, his Christmas album in particular is just fantastic. So yeah.
All right, I'll check it out. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anything that we missed, anything anybody wants to mention really quickly that we missed? I know, Johnny, you're
Yeah,
You're ready. You're ready.
I win. So my honorable mentions were John Legend's album, Kelly Clarkson's album Wrapped in Red, and Wilson Phillips. All wonderful. There were two others that I wanted to talk about. One was Weird Al Yankovic, and
Oh,
the
yeah.
other was and the other was the Piano Guys. Vastly different. So Piano Guys is just all mostly orchestral, instrumental, just unique takes on the classic Christmas songs. And I feel like that's more of like a spiritual Christmas type of, when I'm in like maybe on Sundays if I'm going to church, and like I'll listen to like that type of the Piano Guys music, because it kind of brings, I feel like it brings in the spirit of you know, whatever you believe. You know, for me it just brings in like a very comforting spirit for me. And then the other is Weird Al Yankovic, which I love Weird Al, and he's who I've seen the most in live of any artist ever. Been to 5 or 6 of his concerts, and the last 2 concerts, the one 2 concerts ago, he did Christmas at Ground Zero,
A classic.
And the last concert we went to, we were standing in line outside, and I said I would just die a happy death if he did Albuquerque, Frank's 2000-inch TV, and The Night Santa Went Crazy. And he did all 3 that night. And
Oh
I
my
just
gosh.
died a happy death. It was amazing. Hearing him do Albuquerque was live was it was the best concert I've ever been to.
Oh my gosh.
And he did the Night Santa Went Crazy, and it's interesting like how the lyrics of that have changed over the years. Like the original version, how it used to have like a line about her selling the movie rights to the story, like Mrs. Claus selling the movie rights, and then like it's changed. Just it's like evolved over the course of the years as you've heard it on different albums and hear like the different versions of it. But it's just, it was the first like one of the first songs that I heard by Weird Al when I was a kid, and I was like, someone can sing about things like this. Like, and I was like, what does this say about me that I love this and want to try reindeer now? And like,
reindeer sausage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it was just it's just I love Weird Al's music. I love all of Weird Al's music, and he's got just the 2 Christmas songs that I know of, unless there's one that I'm missing. But if he ever did a Christmas album, I feel like that would just be you know, again, die a happy death. So
yeah. One of the times that I went to one of his concerts, I was talking to one of my best friends at the time, and saying, because I took her, and I'm like, I would die if you started playing Albuquerque. And unfortunately he didn't on that tour. And afterwards she's like, I'm so sorry he didn't play Alabama. And I'm like, well, close. It was Albuquerque.
The Albuquerque was amazing. Like he like paused like halfway through to like correct something with like a modern interpretation, and then like the part where he like forgets where he where was I? You know that part in the song?
Oh, yeah.
The end.
I can still recite that whole song.
Yeah. Oh yeah, me too. And so he paused the whole concert, and he's like, okay, we got to restart. And so he like went off stage, and like the announcer who started the concert at the very beginning of the concert started the concert again. They brought on the original the opening act, and he's like, you know, all his jokes, they didn't work a second time around, and they were just playing into that joke.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. Like they just paused the song right in the middle, and then like eventually he came back out and finished the song. It was so good.
That's so good.
He listed like every single kind of berry donut that you could think of, like the Halle Berry donut, and like like it was. He did a lot of like ad-libbing during that song. So
oh my gosh. Oh man, I would die. But yeah, I wish he put out a full Christmas album, because Christmas at Ground Zero and The Night Santa Went Crazy. Like for Christmas I got Bad Hair Day when I was in grade 4, and that's all I listened to when I was playing like the Nintendo 64. Like it was just Bad Hair Day over and over and over and over again. So classic, absolute classic. Yeah.
Lao Show would be proud.
I was gonna say before we make this into a Weird Al podcast, Matt, anything that we
Ooh, I've been.
Oh,
A deep dive.
a deep dive. I would too. Like you joke, I would 100%. I bought his
So would I.
the Squeeze box box set.
Ooh.
But like when I ordered it, I accidentally ordered the CD version rather than the vinyl version. And so
Oh.
when I picked it up from the post office, I'm like, this is really light. And then it started to dawn on me, and I'm like, oh no. Oh no. And then I wept because I went right back to his website and the vinyl edition was sold out. And I'm like, because I already have all the CDs. So I just got them a second time.
Oh,
So
that's
anyway,
the dream, is to get that.
Yeah.
We
yeah.
at the time when it came out, I think we were like saving money, or
Yeah.
I don't know. It just didn't seem like the thing we should spend money on, or I should spend money on, even though I love him.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
we should do a
To this
Weird Al
day,
one.
he's still like top 5 artist for me.
Mhm.
So, oh boy. Anyway, Matt, what was something that we missed out?
Sure. All right. So I'm kind of a playlist guy around the holidays. So there's
Yay.
just a
Me too.
few. Yeah. So there's a few tracks for me that are just essentials. So you mentioned Greg Lake's I Believe in Father Christmas.
Yeah,
It's got to be in there for me.
got to be in there.
There's a version of Linus and Lucy, from the album you mentioned, by the band Steelism. They played on like pedal steel, like the main melody, and it's
that's
just
cool.
it's so cool. There's also a Wolfpack song called Christmas in LA that's just
Yes.
so upbeat and
Love that
amazing. And I hear it in my mind anytime Christmas comes near.
Yeah.
Also some other non-Christmas albums that really make me think of the season. Camel Snow Goose.
Oh, yes.
Probably just the cover. I don't know
Yeah.
what it is there, but yeah. Also Jacob Collier's In My Room is just a very
Mhm.
warm vocal harmony heavy album. And yeah, fantastic. I listen to a lot of Kindo around this time of year.
Mhm.
Kind of that warm sound. There's a band called Deus Vale. For whatever reason, it's kind of chamber pop, indie rock, late aughts kind of stuff. So very warm, beautiful vocals, just gives me the feels. So I don't think most of those will mean much to anybody, but
I got a couple. I
out
love
there.
that Wolfpack track.
Yes.
It's just so bouncy and so fun. Amazing. All right. Brent.
I've got one I can recommend. It's by a gentleman named Sufjan Stevens, and he's got a Christmas album out. I think it's about 6 or 7 discs, and you can pick it up really cheap anywhere I've seen it. But it's definitely a staple of holidays in this place.
Oh wow.
The dude loves Christmas.
Oh, he does. He's obsessed. Yeah,
It's a good one.
it's enjoyable for sure.
Amazing. Nathan.
Yeah, we mentioned a lot of the ones like the Neil Morse ones that I like, the Prague World Orchestra one, and his more singer-songwriter Last Minute Christmas album from a couple of years ago. There's a band called Theocracy, like power metal stuff, that they did like a Christmas song per year for a while that were all really funny and interesting and different. So that's been one that I like. Beardfish has kind of an obscure Prague song. Terry Takes the Christmas Route, I think it's called.
Oh, I don't know
It's a
that
pretty
one.
funny track. It's probably hard to find. I'm not sure where
Huh.
to find it, but it's really quirky and funny. It's like 16 minutes long or something, so it's like almost an epic, but really in their quirky proggy style. So
Perry
that one's
finds the
fun.
Christmas track.
Christmas Route, I think.
Christmas route.
Yeah.
I'm going to search for this.
Yeah. Hopefully it's out there
Amazing.
somewhere.
If it is, I'll find it.
Hey Nathan, speaking of Theocracy, have you heard the new one?
I have it on my list. I haven't
Yeah.
really been able to have the time to check it all out yet. but
It's pretty good.
yeah.
Amazing.
And kind of the new Moon Safari is probably going to always make me think of Christmas now because of
That's
when
very
it came
Christmassy.
out, and I feel
when it
like
came out.
they sometimes have a Christmassy kind of sound to them. So
Mm.
That sax solo
absolutely.
really does it.
Oh,
Gotta
yeah.
love that sax solo.
Christmas.
Oh boy. Amazing. Yeah. To round this off, I've got a couple that I was hoping that people would talk about, but it's I get the chance. Like Rick Wakeman put out a bunch of Christmas stuff. And my favorite from him is the Christmas Variations. I think he actually put out like a more deluxe version of it a couple years ago, like maybe in 2020, that have like extensions on it, more tracks on it. And I really, really love that one. Going more into like the Christmas metal side of things. I know Charlie Griffith from Haken has his side project of Slayer.
Right.
And every year he puts out kind of like a Christmas track with a bunch of like prog metal acts, which is just hysterical. If you haven't, I think last year he got oh, what's his face? The guy from Protest the Hero to help out with the singing. And it's just a lot of fun. So every year I look forward to a new Slayer track, because it's just a great time. And then all of my countless self-curated like Christmas playlists. I have about 5 of them now. And half of them are traditional stuff and half of them are just straight up insane stuff that I've found through the years. I found one earlier last year called Christmas on the Dance Floor from Gerard Goling. And it's just like a straight up like disco track that pairs very, very well with Dominic the Donkey, that I will sing to my significant other, and she wants to murder me. So the fact that I lived through another year means that I haven't gotten her quite enough with Dominic the Donkey. Because in my heart, I'm a children's librarian, and that's one of the songs that I will do in story time, is Dominic the Donkey. Because at the time I was serving a community that had a lot of Italian immigrants, like fresh off the boat from Italy. And so when I talk about Dominic the Donkey, half of them already know it. So, and the grandmothers are like throwing their shoes, being like, "Don't you dare sing that song again." So that's when I know I'm making a positive impact in the community. Oh boy. Yeah, I could go on, but I think I'm gonna cut it there. So yeah. Thanks everybody for coming on and chatting about Christmas music. It's one of my favorite musical styles. And half of this was just seeing where some of my gaps were and seeing if I could find more Christmas tracks to add to my next playlist. So thanks everybody for coming on.
No worries.
This is awesome. Thank you.
Thanks for letting me crash the party.
Oh, absolutely. Anytime.
Every time. Please crash.
Well, we're just workshopping our Weird Al podcast that we're going to be releasing together. That's it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm in.
All right.
I'm just gonna Homer Simpson on that one. You can take it.
Amazing. And thank you everybody for watching. This was a lot of fun. Happy holidays. Take care of yourselves, and we'll catch you all on the next one. We'll see you.
Merry
probably.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Bye everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Bye.